welcome Fred Harris, the Vice President of the East Penn Conference, to our D11 Sports Studios. And Fred, 25-5, the PIAA has finally voted. They're saying fall sports is a go. Your reaction for the East Penn Conference?
Well, Al, it's been a lot of consternation here for the last couple of weeks, starting with when the governor made a recommendation 2 Thursdays ago, roughly, and then the back and forth that has gone on between PIAA and the governor's office. I'm glad there's finally some closure to that back and forth dialogue. But ultimately for the East Penn Conference, nothing really changed because from our perspective, we had a delay plan in place before the governor made his recommendations. I applaud the principals, superintendents, athletic directors of our conference who had the foresight to plan ahead. And because of that, we're ready to go with non-contacts on Monday with our tennis and golf, cross country, starting soon thereafter. And then our plan to have a county-only schedule for our contact sports and get that rolling in late September. What schools are going to do outside of that, member schools, I know there's a couple that are looking to maybe have an additional scrimmage or possibly a contest. That's up to them. But from a conference perspective, putting something together that we're all comfortable with is a testament to how strong we are. So I'm proud of that.
All right, so you guys put in the schedule that you're going to start football. We'll look at football October 2nd, and you're still going with those 5. Being now that you can actually start earlier, September 11th, you guys are not changing anything. You're going with what you guys had gathered earlier with your recommendations and with your new thought process, correct?
Yeah, up until 2 weeks ago, the PIAA wasn't delaying sports at all. So our decision was to delay sports prior to any delay from the PIAA. So we are sticking with our plan. We are working. We'll work diligently on those schedules for the fall. Hopefully have those out early next week. We're still not quite sure what potentially Allentown School District's going to do. But Al, I have to tell you, and everybody needs to understand this, this thing is a fluid situation. It remains fluid. It was fluid on March 13th, and it's been fluid ever since. The reason why we're having a delay in the first place is to get our schools open safely, to make sure that we don't have issues within our schools regarding this virus, and that hopefully we can compete safely. Everybody wants to compete. Every superintendent, every principal, every athletic director, every parent, every kid, we all want to do this. It's not about wanting. It's about can we safely? And can we safely and do it without, issues down the road for kids or for schools or for community members that aren't even involved in sports? Those are all issues that are out there. So it's an incredibly tough decision for everyone to make. As you saw, it wasn't a unanimous vote. And so there's feelings about this all over the map. And those remain. That didn't change because of a vote today in Mechanicsburg. It's not going to change.
No right, no wrong. Obviously, everyone wants best for the student athletes and for the public in general.
Yep.
Your thoughts on, as we still now wait for no fans or maybe parents, maybe no parents, or only 25 for volleyball? Is this just kind of a wait and see for the EPC and really the other leagues saying, all right, just go forth with your practices, and as that comes to play, then we can add that or subtract that and go from there?
Well, we'll get creative in volleyball. We'll get creative. If we are able to play that sport, we will figure that out. We've got some smart people that coach that sport and that understand that sport. We have a couple ADs that have kids that play that sport. So we have already talked about creative ways to make that 25 or less work, but that certainly doesn't include fans. There's no way. In between the kids and the officials and all, you can't do that any more than that in that sport. So what we've got to do then is start thinking about, okay, how do we stream these games? How do we get these games out to the public? I think football is the easy one because everybody broadcasts football on local cable and all those types of things. But how do we make sure that a parent on a Tuesday night gets to see a volleyball match? So those are all things that now we've got to work on. Should we be playing volleyball in late September? In terms of the fan requirement, I know that's something that has been discussed at the legislative level. at the state. But there's a lot of people not budging on that and with in the governor's office. So, we've got to get creative on that at the league level. We will talk about that. We will have recommendations in place. What could it look like? It could look like home crowd only, and it's just a couple of, maybe it's parents of players to meet that number. It could be smaller rosters, which, that's a possibility. It could be a pep band instead of the 200-strong Hurricane marching band. So all those things are in play. And, there's an incredible amount of work ahead of us to get us to October 2nd in our first football game.
Okay, that all said, when can fans and media, when can fans expect these schedules to be put out there? Will we have them by Monday? Will we have them by Wednesday? When will you know?
Yeah, our goal is to have those schedules vetted and out by midweek. We have them made. Again, we need to know what's going on with all our member schools. And right now, those schedules are made with 18 schools in them, unless certain schools have already indicated they're not offering a sport like field hockey at Central or et cetera. So, yeah, hopefully by midweek we'll have those out to the public.
All right, and I leave you with one final question for you. Not only is the athletic director at Liberty High School, but also, the vice president of East Penn Conference. Everybody's been waiting. You and I are talking. I talk with other athletic directors. What can you say to not only your student athletes from Liberty, but also the student athletes from the East Penn Conference, and really the family and friends and fans that are waiting to see this actually happen?
If there's a way, we will. And I've said that to our kids all summer. Our kids have been back here since July 1 working out and doing the socially distant workouts, the small pod workouts. They've been lifting. We had a great situation here in Bethlehem with our kids lifting at the ice rink, run by St. Luke's Health Network. That was fantastic. Freedom and Liberty both did it. I think Easton kids were over here doing it. It was a great setup. So, if there's a will, if there's a way, we will. We all want to play. We were all athletes. As athletic directors, you look around the room, we all played sports. We all love high school sports. If there's a way, we will. But we also understand that there's a reality here. The reality is there's a pandemic. And the reality is that school needs to happen. School needs to start. And our number one priority is the education of kids. Athletics is a part of that. We want that to happen, but it's got to happen safely. And if we can't assure that, I don't know where we'll be. If we can, we will. So we're excited for Monday. We're excited for golf to get started, for tennis. I've been seeing our cross-country kids practicing here. They're excited to get going. And our contact sports are back on campus. Our kids are chomping at the bit to get going. Let's hope we can.
Yeah, the ADs are chomping at the bit. The sportscasters are chomping at the bit. Everybody is. A good day really in the state of Pennsylvania. And it is Friday, so they always say thank God it's Friday. So, I'll take that one. Frank,
all right, thanks, Al.
And we'll talk to you down the road. You got it. Take care. Frank Harris, the Liberty AD and Vice President of the East Penn Conference.